It's my pleasure to introduce Randy Wolken, the President and CEO of McNee. In addition to Randy's role at McNee, he also serves as President and CEO of the Manufacturers Alliance of New York, which is the coalition of manufacturing groups representing over 2,500 companies and over 425,000 manufacturing employees throughout New York State. Randy joined McNee in 2001 and dedicated the past 17 years to improving the business climate in New York State. As of January of this year, Randy became co-chair of the Regional Economic Development Council at Central New York, CNY REDC. Please join me in welcoming Randy to the stage.
How will you thrive in today's economy? It's the number one question we have to ask ourselves every day we go to work and every day that we attempt to make, and you attempt to make, great products and deliver great services. How will you thrive in today's economy? Some facts. Each day in the U.S., there'll be over 1,000 new businesses. Worldwide, in 1 year, there'll be 100 million new businesses. That's 474,000 each day. The competition doesn't only come from Indiana anymore, it also comes from India. And they're focused on winning markets and customers. The world's changing, and it's changing fast. Tonight, you're going to hear about success stories. In a few minutes, you'll hear about great leaders, great companies, and great outcomes. In fact, I want to share one story I have about one of those leaders. Just a few years ago in 2001, when I came into this job, I was invited out to Welsh Allen to meet Bill Allen, which was quite an honor. I still remember the day as if it was yesterday. I drove out there, we sat in his office for a few minutes. He was humble, he was focused, he was kind. And then he got excited. Let's go look at the factory floor. And so that's what we did. We walked down to the factory floor. I saw incredible machines. I saw great technology. I saw medical instruments that are made and distributed across the world. But what did Bill focus on? He focused on the people. He called them by their first name. He talked to them about their families. Then, in every day since, I've been looking for what I now call present-future leaders. They're firmly planted in the present, but they're always reaching for the future. And they're trying to get there as fast as they possibly can. Leaders know, if they look around, that the future already exists. It's everywhere. It's just not widely distributed. Let me give you an example. I was an ordinary tourist just a year ago with my family in Germany. I did what tourists do. I took a tour. This one happened to be of the BMW factory. There were 10,000 people that worked there. They make 1,300 cars a day. Every single car is different. There are 12,000 seat choices. You can have whatever color you want. In fact, one woman brought her nail polish in and said, "I want this color." And they produced that color for her. Now, I'm sad to say that I found out 30% of the cars are still black. But the reality is you can have whatever you want, and it's produced that day. It's amazing. But you know, you don't have to go all the way to Germany and be a tourist to see that. You can see it right here in central New York and throughout New York State. You can see it in our own factories. What do they have and what are they doing? They're using big data today to look at the markets, to figure out competitors, to become more competitive. The Internet of Things is changing everything about their jobs. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. You'll see robotics, you'll see artificial intelligence. You know, today, robots will teach themselves. You literally can find robots working next to workers without a cage. And some of those robots cost $35,000 a year. You can see virtual and augmented reality. You can see micro manufacturing. In fact, if you want to see semiconductor chips manufactured, go to Marquardt, just down the road from here. You can see biotechnology in its application and usage. You can see it in Inficon, in their fantastic detection systems that can see to the micron and understand how to keep our cities and our communities safe. You want to see 3D printing? Go to Lockheed Martin. They're using 3D printing today. All of these things that are listed here are now being done throughout our community. And what's fascinating about my job is I get to see it. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. And you can see it too if you take advantage of the great MACNY offerings. Every job is changing. Every single job is changing. That's a tough thing for some of us to handle, especially as boomers. I happen to be one of the last few years of boomers. But every job is changing, and it's happening faster than ever. Let me give you an example. My grandfather, Bill Harstick, with an 8th grade education, raised a family on 80 acres. He's one of my heroes. When he started, he farmed with horses. Today, I have a cousin whose husband and one hired hand farms 1,500 acres by themselves. They climb into the tractor, and the tractor drives itself. They turn on the ball game, and they farm. The planter literally plants each kernel of corn and marks it as a data point. They can plant within 2 inches of the boundary. That's not the future, that's today. By the way, they also raise several hundred head of cattle and several hundred head of hogs. 2 people. Every job's changing, everywhere. And why is that? Because of something called the Internet of Things. So by 2020, just 2 short years from now, there'll be 30 billion sensor-enabled objects connected to networks. 30 billion. And by the way, by 2020, there'll be 212 billion available sensors enabled within objects. 212 billion. That's 28 times the world's population. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. To include the production lines and the service centers in our members. You may have heard about Industry 4.0. It's here. These are new age production systems that today our member companies are using and companies across the globe are using. They're using cloud computing, autonomous robots. They're using simulation, big data analytics, additive manufacturing or 3D printing. And it goes on. These are just sort of the 9 most enabling of all production. Why is that all possible today? Again, it's all because of the Internet of Things, which radically transformed the way we make products and sell products across the globe. So it's important for all of us to know this. It's important for us to do what we can to be prepared. Because when we're prepared, we can be successful. What I've learned is the most important thing is great leadership. And you get to choose the kind of leader that you're becoming. And it's so critical that you choose to be that leader for our community, for our country, and for the world. One of my favorites happened to go to the same school he went to. There's no security on this earth. There's only opportunity. And that's what's available today, opportunity. But we have to seize the opportunity. And it starts every day we go to work. And every day we think about how we make the future happen. So what are we doing at MACNY to help you so you can be successful? We help create success networks. Individuals like those sitting in this room that you ought to meet and learn about their reality, the things they're currently doing today that you ought to be doing in your facilities. I mentioned just a few. MACNY has 330 of those members in MACNY itself and 2,500 across the state. Those individuals have the answers to so many of your questions. We're doing state-of-the-art workforce initiatives, helping you have the workforce of today and the workforce of tomorrow. We provide direct member services to you and your teams, all kinds of opportunities for you to work together and for you to work with us. And we're the state leader in advocacy and issue coalitions. For instance, this year we put together one so that you would get a manufacturing tax cut for all industries, not just C Corps. Our new initiatives that I hope you're aware of, but if not, please contact our team. Individual members. These are the most highly engaged individuals in MACNY. They have the availability to go to hundreds of things annually and to take advantage of all the learning and training. By the end of our fiscal year, there'll be 400 individual members, and it's growing fast. We offer senior and emerging leader services. Digital content. If you haven't listened to David and Marissa's podcast, which they've been doing weekly, you're missing it. Please listen in. Every week, the two of them are wonderful, talking about the latest and greatest in leadership trends. We're working on next generation workforce partnerships across the state of New York and beyond. And one of those is our regional apprenticeship approach. In less than 18 months, we've got 75 individuals started in apprenticeships. And there are another 50 in the pipeline, and we think there are hundreds available. Our team has quickly become actually recognized leaders in the country for working on apprenticeships. And I mentioned statewide advocacy because we have to help make it a better business climate for you to be successful. Now, one of those digital content that we produced this year, I had the good fortune of writing a book. And it was a pretty amazing process for me. I needed a millennial to help me. And I'm fascinated by the whole process. I've always wanted to write one. I will tell you that as of this afternoon, it was number 2 in small business on the Amazon platform. Thanks to you. So, at a staff meeting, I'd never do this, but see your phone? If you haven't downloaded it, do it before 6 o'clock on Friday. Do it tonight. It's on our website. Go to macne.org, push the button, download it. If you can't figure it out, ask a millennial. They always know how to do this stuff. My daughter usually helps me. But there's more to come. This is my first book, and we're going to have other books coming out of MACNY too, and lots of other digital content, so you can take advantage of it anytime, any place that you want. Just imagine what we can do together. Look to your left, look to your right. There's some of the most talented, gifted people on the planet. Together, we can do incredible things. So let's start and do so much more together. Now, before I'm done, it's important to thank the individuals who make tonight possible. First of all, thank you to our members. Thank you for the most successful year we've had on record at MACNY. More events, more people attending the events, and the biggest annual dinner we've had in modern history. Thank you for all that you've done. I also would like to ask the board of directors to please stand. Thank you for your leadership at MACNY. Can we give them a round of applause, please? And I see some of the staff out there that some of them are working. Could the staff please stand or raise your hand if you're standing already? They do the real work. Thank you so much. They're the best team around. I have one other item, or two other items I want to say. First of all, congratulations on 105 years. MACNY's been around 105 years. There are some founding members here. Not the individuals themselves, but the companies. And also, I want to congratulate our affiliate, Partners for Education and Business, on 25 years of service to the community. They touch and work with thousands of kids every day. Can we give PEB a round of applause? And finally, please help me in thanking my incredible partner for 31 years, my wonderful wife, Denise. Thank you. And you don't have to listen to me anymore tonight. So, yay! Have a great evening. Look forward to it. Thank you.